Okay, we will call to order the regular meeting of the Batavia City Council for Monday, April 3, 2023. And I would ask all of us to stand for a brief invocation to be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight we meet in our council chambers following a very troubling and sorrowful weekend in the community of Batavia, headed up by the accidental death of Officer Joe Godella of the Batavia Police Department. And we remember Joe with great fondness because he was a get out and know the people person, and he had a great relationship with animals. He certainly had a loving family, as was evidenced at his memorial services. And he was just a person that we are sorely going to miss. And so we just ask that a special blessing be showered upon him and his family as they go about this most difficult time. Additionally, we want to make mention that on Saturday night, the community of Batavia was struck by a straight line wind experience that did significant damage on the southwest side of Batavia and along East Wilson Street all the way out to Kirk Road. And I guess we are thankful for the fact that I guess we didn't have an actual tornado. We had, I guess, the next best thing. But we got through it, and it was a sad experience in the region because there were some deaths, and we are just hopeful that the weather will be kinder to us in the days ahead. Tonight, as always, we want to ask for direction and vision and understanding by the members of the City Council as we go about the items of business before us, of which I know in each one of their hearts and minds, they are here to do what is in the best interest of the community. And we also want to remember all those from our community who are serving in foreign soil in defense of the liberties of the United States of America. And we just ask again that a special blessing be showered upon these men and women as they go about the vital mission of defending our country. And finally, we just ask for a blessing over our whole community, that dealing with a wide variety of bad situations, we have been able to overcome ourselves and overcome the issue and move forward. And we just hope that that spirit of Batavia lives on for many generations to come, and that we always, at the end of the day, will be proudly honored to truly call Batavia our home. We ask for all these blessings. Amen. Alderman Miller, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States.
And as the city clerk, if she please call the roll.
Miller,
Here.
Rosado,
Here.
Beck, Connolly, Janset,
Here.
Wolf,
Here.
Solfa,
Here.
Barron, here, Lehman, here, Ayazi,
Here.
Malay,
Here.
Ewer,
Here.
Saron,
Here.
Vogelsinger.
Here.
12 of 14 present, Your Honor.
We have 12 aldermen present, either in person or in Zooming on the meeting, and we have 2 absent, so we have the necessary quorum to conduct business. So moving to item 4 on our agenda, which is our agenda reminder that if you're going to come tonight and speak to the city council, we ask that you please come up and use the podium and speak into the microphone, because this is being recorded so it can be televised on Batavia Access TV, and we want to make sure that that's covered. Moving then to item number 5, which are items we removed, added, or changed on the agenda. Alderman Chanzit, as Governmental Services Committee Chairman, do you have anything this evening?
Your Honor, I'm aware of none.
Okay, anybody else on the council? All right, then we will move to item 6, which is the consent agenda. Alderman Chanzit, would you present this, please?
Your Honor, the consent agenda reads as follows. To accept and place on file the Committee of the Whole minutes for March 14th, 2023, and approvals the March 31st, 2023 payroll in the amount of $982,060.32. The accounts payable check register in the amount of $1,004,397.50. City Council minutes for March 20th, 2023. Approval, waive construction hours for 185 North Randall Road. That's a Chick-fil-A canopy installation. Resolution 23-53-R, the 2023 Code Compliance Lawn Mowing Maintenance Contract. Resolution 23-56-R, approval of the 2023 to 2025 IAFF contract. Your Honor, I would move that we approve the consent agenda as read.
Second.
A motion and second for the approval of the items on the consent agenda. Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Janset.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Solfa.
Aye.
Barron. Aye. Lehman. Aye. Ayazi.
Aye.
Malay.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron.
Aye.
Vogelsinger.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Rosado.
Aye.
12 yes, no, 2 absent.
Consent agenda is approved. Okay, moving to item number 7, which are matters from the public for items that are not on our tonight's agenda. Does anybody wish to address City Council? Gilbert, would you come up and...
Good evening. My name is Aaron Kilberg, and I would just like to address the committee and the community at large that are viewing and just encourage everyone in our community to vote in tomorrow's election if they have not. I just had the privilege of visiting Washington, D.C. and taking part and enjoying many of the museums. And one of the exhibits we saw was about the history of voting rights in our country and all the work that's had to be done to ensure that every citizen in our community has that opportunity. And considering the timing of the visit, it was very moving for me. So I just want to say I want to thank everyone who has participated and voted and encourage those who have not and have the opportunity to please have their voice be heard. Thank you.
Thank you. I can report that this room was an early voting poll for about 2 weeks here. They stopped on this past a week ago, or this coming Thursday. And they had a steady stream of voters in here with some regularity. There was no empty moments. I've seen other elections we've hosted in here where there weren't many people coming down to vote. This one seemed to have interest, and there were a lot of people in here to vote. So we hope it goes the right way for the school district tomorrow, and I am sure Batavia will be well served by whatever the outcome, because we have talented people on the school board who I am sure will make the right decisions moving forth and however it turns out. So thank you for your address. Anybody else? Okay, moving then to item number 8, which is a presentation tonight by the Batavia Chamber of Commerce. And the way we work this, the Chamber speaks at one meeting a month and the Batavia Main Street Organization speaks at the other. So they each get their turn before us each month, and we meet twice a month. And Chamber one time and the Main Street the next. So we have the chairman and CEO of the Batavia Chamber. So would you go forward and give us...
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, we appreciate the opportunity you give to us to give highlights of what the Chamber is up to each month. So thank you for the opportunity. Good evening, Council. Good evening, Mayor. We have some really great, exciting news to celebrate in a couple of minutes. But before I turn over to the Batavia Community Flag Committee Chairman Marty Callahan, I wanted just to highlight a couple of things the Chamber has going on upcoming. We have our regular networking that has been such a success, our morning networking coming up. It's our Coffee and Commerce. It will be at Physical Therapy Advantage at 35 South Randall Road in North Aurora on April 12th from 8 to 9 a.m., that's morning. We have our Batavia Women in Business Luncheon that we have every other month in April. It'll be April 11th. It's a fashion show, so super fun for men and women to join us. That will be at Eagle Brook Country Club on April 11th at 11:30. We have our evening networking on April 19th at Windmill Grill across the street at 90 North Island. Our Spotlight Charity will be Batavia Interfaith Food Pantry. And then our 2 big events are coming up. Inspire Celebration is coming up on Thursday, April 27th. We will be celebrating the Citizen of the Year Award to John Dillon. And our Batavia Spirit Award is going to Fox Valley, 100 Women Who Care. And then we have 8 Oli Award winners. So I know a lot of them are in your awards, so I hope to see you there celebrating with us. Come join us. Registration is open on our website. And then save the date for June 16th for our golf outing. That will be at 9 a.m. is the tee-off time this year, so it's always a super fun day. So mark your calendars for all that. If you want more information, please go to our website, bataviachamber.org. Now I would like to turn it over to Marty Callahan. He is our chairman and has some exciting news this evening.
You have it all ready? So glad to be back on this side, and my blood pressure enjoys it so. I am sad that Abby's not here. She knew I was going to do a rousing happy birthday for her, so she decided to stay away. Like Margaret said, my name is Marty Callahan. I am the chairman for the Batavia Community Flag contest that we had that was sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce. Margaret had this great idea back in the end of last summer, where coming out of COVID, she just thought it would be a great idea to rally the community together to show how much we really love this town. And as part of that, with the construction of the Flag Day Monument that's going on, she thought it would be a great hand-in-glove opportunity to showcase what's going on with the monument and design a community flag. This flag will, the donation of about 25% of all of the sales will go to the monument and its construction. We had on our committee, myself, Margaret, we were just the ones to shepherd the cats. And we had Scott Salvati, which you know that was going to be trouble. Other designers, Andrea Gasca Davis, Kathleen Turiton, and Tony and Chris Winter. And I think Kathleen's here, Andrea's here. I did not see Tony or his wife, but they were the ones that helped really put this together. And with the help of the North American Vexillological Association, they do a lot of the flag design and the what makes a good flag. So with that in mind, we created a flag contest, and we received 107 entries, and 2/3 of those were from Batavia students, which was just amazing. And as you'll see from the quality of the ones that we had, it was a really hard choice, and I appreciate the mayor did come and help vote, and we had my son, Alex, be the kind of the liaison as a student. So with the top 10, I will present. This was the first one by a Batavia High School student, Gina Bernacci. Leonardo Cio, he is a Batavia resident who lives in New York City. Nathaniel Cooper, I believe, is a former BHS student. Josh Helsper, his design was from someone who wanted to make a city flag, an official city flag, about 8 years ago, and this is a modification of that. Aiden Huerta, he is a Batavia High School student. Grace Huggins, also another Batavia High School student. Nate Lehman, spouse of Jamie Sam. Adrian Susik, also another Batavia High School student. And your winning design was by Rachel Agro, the daughter of Deb and James Agro. She is a 16-year-old sophomore at Batavia High, and I know she runs cross country also. So if you would, please congratulate Rachel on her outstanding design. And I believe the mayor had something for Rachel.
Yes,
Somebody's got the
I have the
proclamation.
proclamation. Okay. Proclamation. Proclamation reads as follows. Whereas the City of Batavia, the Batavia Chamber of Commerce held a flag design contest to create a Batavia community flag to promote community pride and also raise funds for Batavia Flag Day Monument. And whereas over 107 designs were submitted from around the world, including 46 submissions from artists under the age of 18. And whereas Rachel Agro, a sophomore student at Batavia High School, created the winning design as selected by a committee that included Batavia Mayor Jeffrey D. Shelke, as well as Marty Callahan, chairperson for the Flag Day Design Contest and member of the North American, I'm not even going to say that, Association. And whereas Rachel Agro's design represents Batavia and its historical connection to industry through the use of a windmill image, which also takes the shape of a sun, along with Batavia's geography through the addition of blue stripes to represent the Fox River. And whereas the winning design will be preceded by Batavia Company flag source and available for purchase. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Jeffrey D. Shelke, Mayor of Batavia, do hereby congratulate Rachel Agro and call upon all citizens to consider flying the Batavia Community Day flag. I'll make a motion to approve the proclamation as read.
Second.
Roll call.
Call the roll yet?
Yeah.
Rosato?
Aye.
Chanzit?
Aye.
Wolf?
Aye.
Solfa?
Aye.
Barron? Aye. Lehman? Aye. Ayazi?
Aye.
Malay?
Aye.
Ewer?
Aye.
Saron?
Aye.
Vogelsinger? Aye. Miller?
Aye.
12 yes, no, no, 2 absent.
Asked to serve on the committee to select us. And one of the driving forces for my mind adopt this flag was the center. That's astronaut Evan All.
If anybody wants to purchase a flag or a garden flag, the flags are $50 and the garden flags are $35, and they're available at bataviaflag.com.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, moving then to item number 10, which is another proclamation for Batavia High School teacher Amber Jersa, who has been named the North Suburbs Regional Teacher of the Year by the ISBE. And
Yes, I have a proclamation to read.
you have Alderman Lehman's going to read the proclamation.
Proclamation. Whereas since 1970, the Illinois State Board of Education has sponsored the Those Who Excel in Teacher of the Year program to honor educators who have made significant contributions to our state's public and non-public elementary and secondary schools. And whereas this year, the Illinois State Board of Education has honored 490 Illinoisans for their extraordinary contributions to education across the state through its annual Those Who Excel in Teacher of the Year awards. The awardees include 13 finalists for 2023 Illinois Teacher of the Year, the state's top honor for classroom teachers. And whereas Batavia High School English teacher Amber Jersa has been named the North Suburbs Regional Teacher of the Year and one of the 13 finalists for the statewide Teacher of the Year award. And whereas, when reviewing her application materials, one scorer noted how leadership is evident with every accomplishment in Mrs. Jersa's resume. From serving as an IEA Black Caucus member to completing a multitude of initiatives, workshops, and trainings on DEI strategies, Amber Jersa impressed application scorers with her commitment to equity. Another scorer highlighted that Mrs. Jersa demonstrated great poise when encouraging district equity team members to use their voices to achieve their goals. Finally, scorers were further convinced she deserved recognition not only because of her infectious optimism and impressive accomplishments, but because Mrs. Jersa is a proven leader, advocate, and a great ambassador for public education in Illinois. And whereas Adam Kennedy, former student, said of her, "I had never been good at English, so by my junior year, when I had Mrs. Jersa, I figured I never would be. But she never gave up on teaching me. More importantly, I could always tell how much she cared about us. Over time, I started to espouse her love for the subject. By the end of the class, I was writing papers that made me proud and reading books in my free time, which I had never done before. I still talk about the essays I wrote and the books that I read in her class." And whereas Amber Jersa is the co-founder and sponsor of the Equity and Justice Club and co-sponsor of the Student Council. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Jeffrey D. Schelke, Mayor of Batavia, do hereby acknowledge Amber Jersa as North Suburbs Regional Teacher of the Year and one of the 13 finalists for the statewide Teacher of the Year award, and encourage all Batavia residents to congratulate her on her accomplishments as one of Batavia's finest educators. I make a motion to approve the proclamation as read.
Second.
Motion second, clerk call the roll.
Lehman,
Aye.
Ayazi,
Aye.
Millet,
Aye.
Ewer,
Aye.
Saron,
Aye.
Vogelsinger. Aye. Miller,
Aye.
Rosato,
Aye.
Janset,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Solfa,
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
12 yes, no, 2 absent.
Motion approved. 12 yes, no no's, 2 absent, right? Put you on the spot here. We're not getting a standing ovation. So, so I just want to make a couple of statements about the quality of Batavia schools that you are at the top of the list here as one of them that's really helping us do the things we've done. As I've already mentioned, in 1918, we had a girl in Batavia High School who was on the way to be the valedictorian. She had to leave and she never got back to Batavia, but 1969, we got all kinds of publicity when her son landed on the moon for the first time. Then in 1960, we had a gentleman graduate from Batavia High School by the name of Rodney Ross, and he went off to the University of Chicago, got his master's degree, and became the curator of the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library. And then in 1967, we had a gentleman graduate from Batavia High School, very high in his class. He wasn't valedictorian, but he was right up there. He went to Augustana College and ended up getting drafted into professional football and was the starting quarterback of the 1982 Super Bowl. So Batavia High School has this great history of all these people who have gone far beyond what anybody else in the region's done as far as really making a name for Batavia High School with the people that this high school has presented going. The reason I shared this was going way back into the old days. But I'm just excited to hear from talking to students at the high school who have you as a teacher and all of the well wishes and all the great things that are being said about you and your teaching skills and your ability to communicate with your students. I think you've made maybe another couple big-time national winners for us at some point in time in the future. So thank you for that legacy that you are really carrying forward. And Batavia couldn't be prouder of you at the moment for all you've done already, and look for great things yet to appear in your record as some of your students go forward. So you really do have made a real positive impact on a lot of kids already. And thank you for all you've done. So on behalf of the City Council, I present you the proclamation. And does somebody want to take pictures here or what?
Sorry, there's a little chatty one in the back. I just wanted to say thank you so much. I could not do this without this community, without the students, without the amazing staff that has been there for me. And I am going to continue this journey for our students because all of our students deserve to walk through those doors and feel inclusive. And so that's why I'm here. And that is where the journey will continue. So thank you very, very much. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving then to item number 11, which is a presentation of the first quarter 2023 Strategic Action Plan update.
So I'm really happy to present this update of our strategic plan. It is 2023, and we're closing in on the last part of this plan. And I think we've got some great progress to share with you today. If the slides advance, try that. Just a reminder that we've got these 5 different areas in our current strategic plan: economic vitality, transportation, infrastructure, the river, and diversity, equity, and inclusion. And these are economic development objectives, of which we have completed, I'll call it about 1.5. And on the other 2, we're almost there. So we did create the position of business development manager. We are calling it community development manager, or I'm sorry, economic development manager. We did do a community outreach to get feedback and input on what should be in an economic development strategic plan, but because we had a vacancy in the position, we haven't yet taken that information and put it into the written plan. And given the workload that exists for getting the downtown plan finished, we feel like as that project is concluding, we'll be able to utilize the information that we've gathered to then write our economic development strategic plan, which that will be good timing since the city is going to be going through the exercise of updating its strategic action plan for 2024 to 2026. And it is good to have the goals of one document cascade into the goals of another. We have done many things to actively market the city of Batavia to new businesses. We created a marketing video that is now complete and posted on our economic development website, and looking for different ways to use that. And also, while the original One Washington Place project did not move forward, the city did go through an RFP process, resulting in one proposed development that we're working on fine-tuning with that developer. But we expect that that would be an opportunity that would get presented to council in the second quarter. And then other areas that were almost there. So 3 different streetscape projects. The replacement of the catenary lights on North River Street are under engineering. The arch for Newspaper Boy Alley, and that will have at least 2 new entryway signs this year. And within this document, I know that the type here is extremely small, but when you go to the website, you can find all of the detail here of all the progress that has been made over the course of these last 2 years and 1 quarter. And next are our transportation objectives. A lot of these are related to the bike and pedestrian plan, which was just completed. So we continue to pursue implementation of a road diet on Route 31. Engineering is actively underway for this project, and we have applied for an ITEP grant to assist with funding this project. The adding X miles of sharrows or bike lanes per year. As we got into our strategic plan, we realized that recommendations like this would be part of many recommendations that have become part of the bike and pedestrian plan. And so a dashboard will be developed so that we can track the city's progress on the elements of that plan. And this is one that was completed to collaborate with the Batavia Bicycle Commission on development of an active transportation plan. We ended up calling it the Bike and Pedestrian Plan. It was adopted earlier this year. And again, we're going to develop that dashboard so that we can continue to track when we complete elements of that plan. And the next area are infrastructure goals, to develop an infrastructure funding policy. We still have yet to have that meeting yet this year, but we will. Review service level expectations was completed in the first year. And then the third was enhancing the safety of bikers and walkers in our neighborhood. Again, those were recommendations that have ended up in our bike and pedestrian plan. So we intend to, with regard to the infrastructure funding policy, have a meeting sometime during the second quarter of 2023. And again, the enhancing the safety of bikers and walkers. There are recommendations for traffic calming that have been incorporated into that bike and pedestrian plan. And on to our river objectives. The first was to create a master plan for the development of our riverfront, to actively market the riverfront development opportunities, and to identify inexpensive ways to capitalize on the fact that we have a river running right through the heart of our downtown. So with regard to the master plan for the development of our riverfront, the Park District Staff hired HDG to do an amendment to the plan to identify possible amenities that could be associated with whether it would be a impoundment or no impoundment. That work is finally completed. We wanted to schedule meetings with U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and Illinois Department of Natural Resources to get an update on where things stand with their projects for dam removal. And then we are anticipating a joint meeting of the City Council and Park Board for early June. And the downtown plan is going to be our mechanism to actively market our riverfront development opportunities, expected to be completed in the third quarter of 2023. And we are always looking for ways to capitalize on having our river right here. One of the things that we have done recently in the first quarter of 2023 is to collaborate with the Parks Foundation to provide electric service upgrades for a project that will make the Peace on Earth letters a permanent fixture in our downtown. And then finally, create and adopt a diversity, equity, and inclusion plan. We have developed an employee survey, which among many other things, asks some questions about diversity and inclusion. We have purchased copies of the book, The Sum of Us, What Racism Costs Everyone and How We Can Prosper Together. And all of the members of the Workplace DEI Committee have a copy of this book, and it was offered to employees in general, and we look forward to reading this book together and having it prompt some very worthwhile discussions about just how that affects society in general, but then specifically how that affects our workplace and also the way in which we deliver services in our community. So we really look forward to learning from that publication. And that's it, unless anybody has any questions for me or concerns about progress. Open to any and all comments.
Comments or questions at this point? Thank you. All right, moving to item number 12, which is approval to waive formal bidding and award a contract for fiber conduit installation to Raise Electric. Who's got this one?
I've got that, Your Honor.
Alderman Callahan?
Item 12 is we're waiving bidding for item 13, so I'll kind of do them together. We are approving a contract for fiber conduit installation at Hall Quarry Beach on behalf of the Batavia Park District. So this is fully reimbursable by them, and they requested we waive the bid process in order to get it done quickly. It would, by doing so, we save four weeks in the process, and the quote came in under budget anyways, so, and it's reimbursed. So this came to City Council with full support by committee, so I would, well, does anybody have any questions or comments? With that, make a motion to approve the waiving of formal bidding and award a contract for fiber conduit installation to Raise Electric.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Saron, second by Alderman Malay for the approval of waiving formal bidding and award a contract for fiber conduit installation to Raise Electric. Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Aye.
Olsinger.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Rosado.
Aye.
Jansit.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Solfa.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Lehman.
Aye.
Ayazi.
Aye.
Malay.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
12 yes, no, 2 absent.
Motion approved, 12 yes, no no's, 2 absent. All right.
We could just jump into item 13. We waived the bidding for it, so we should just, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 23-51-R to approve the contract for fiber conduit installation at Hall Quarry Beach Thank you.
Moved by Alderman Cerrone, second by Alderman Malay for the approval of Resolution 23-051-R, approving a contract for fiber conduit installation at Hall Quarry Beach. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Saron,
Aye.
Vogelsinger,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Rosado,
Aye.
Chanzit,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Solfa,
Aye.
Barron. Aye. Lehman. Aye. Ayazi.
Aye.
Malay.
Aye.
Viewer.
Aye.
12 yes, no, 2 absent.
Motion's approved. Moving then to 14, the Administrator's Report. Laura?
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a few things. Ironically, the electric department was just about to announce prior to this weekend that they come up with a very clever phone number for us for reporting electrical outages. It was 454 bulb, BULB, something that's kind of catchy and easy to remember. But it just is ironic that over this past weekend we had a lot of outages, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention how wonderfully the various city departments that respond to these emergencies came together in people's hour of need to work tirelessly, hour after hour, dedicated with a sense of urgency to get people's electricity back and operational as soon as possible. We also benefited from the assistance of the village of Winnetka and also the city of Oglesby, who sent us linemen, sent us equipment. And there's no way we would have been able to get everybody back online so quickly without their support. That comes from our membership in the Illinois Municipal Utility Agency, which has a similar mutual aid, as does our IPW-MAN. And so perfect example of why that is such a critical network for us. And just as they came to our aid, we stand ready to go to theirs in their times of need as well. And I'm glad that I see Mark Davis here in the back row. Mark is our Emergency Services and Disaster Agency Manager and has been for how long, Mark? Almost 10 years. And Mark has an incredibly difficult job to do in terms of in weather-related events to monitor that situation no matter how many hours, to seek assistance, to spot storms, and oftentimes to make the hard decisions to whether it's canceling large events because it's putting people at too much risk, or making sure to follow all of the guidelines with regard to sounding the sirens. I know that there was some communication on social media that they felt that the sirens should have been engaged, but there are very specific rules about that, and it's determined by the wind speed. And the wind speed prior to the event never did reach that threshold at which the sirens should have been turned on. So it was just acting in accordance with the standards that exist. And that's it, unless anybody has any questions for me.
Questions, Laura?
Thank you.
Okay, moving to item 15, other business. Does anybody have any other business? Moving to 16, the mayor's report. I just want to kind of piggyback on what Laura's just said. I was in town Friday night when things happened, and I was, as you know, I have an interest in public safety, so it didn't take me long to get out on the street. And I drove around for a few minutes trying to figure out what had happened here, because there were a lot of Batavia that didn't seem like anything had happened. And then if you went over on the southwest side, or you went out East Wilson Street for maybe a block to the south of it, there was damage, but there wasn't a lot of damage in other places. And so I guess what I've had some people from the Weather Bureau call and talk to me, and I think they think we got some kind of a straight line wind thing that probably came into Batavia at some point. Best direction I can find would be probably just south of the West Side Fire Station. And it came into the community, and it followed a course, a spread that probably went from about Main Street down to Morton. And right about at Morton and Harrison, or around the old Bellevue Sanitarium, that's where the most damage seemed to be appearing. And then there got to be on Batavia Avenue down around Union. And we had the street blocked off there for a while because we had electric lines down. And then if you kind of left that area and meandered over to the east side, we had probably the most visible damage right at the corner of Van Buren and Wilson Street, in the house that's right across the street from the Park District's facility, or some would say Old Holy Cross Church. And there was, structurally, there was some significant damage done there. It was a big tree came down and I guess hit the house and then bounced off the house and hit the fence and did all kinds of stuff. So that was there. And then the next thing that really popped up was out on Kirk Road, north of Wilson Street. We lost an electrical pole, it was laying there in the middle of Kirk Road on fire, and the lines were bouncing around and everything else. And that was one of the lines, I believe, that heads into our main electrical substation out there. So boy, you didn't want to go get anyone near touching that thing, because they would have probably been burned alive right there standing in the street with it. So it was a very interesting storm to follow. And subsequently, I had a couple of the Chicago TV stations call me and want to know more about the details, and was there any real bad damage that they should send a film crew out for. But there was, and I told them, I said, I think, you're covering a story up in Belvedere, and that's probably where it needs to be talked about, because we don't really, other than trees. But then I will tell you, just as Laura just got through saying, I was very heartened by what I saw when I got up on Saturday morning and started rerouting myself on what I had seen the night before. The turnout, I think we worked all night on Public Works and the city electricians and basically all the street department, and a lot of the stuff that was really quite visible and dynamic to look at had already been ground up and pushed into the trucks and was gone. And so there's still some laying out there on the roads, and stuff that's not bothering anybody right at the moment, but I shouldn't say on the roads, on the parkways. So we're continuing to do it. And in the meantime, I guess I also want to say that on our public safety end, the fire department and the police got a number of calls during this whole thing, and everybody rose to the occasion. And, and especially on this weekend when we're burying, Joe, one of our very own, on Friday night was his wake and Saturday morning was his funeral. And we had some people, I don't want to name names, we had some I know that did not go to bed Friday night. They were up the whole night long, just trying to put together things that were happening in Batavia, and then were kind enough to drive over to Carroll Stream to Joe's funeral, and I saw a number of them there. So it was a very heartening thing to see the understanding and the fellowship and the support of each other that we have within the city staff, and really speaks, I think, well for what we got going here and how good our group it really is, because other places I think could have been really helter-skelter had they had some of the stuff happen that we had, but we kept our head on and kept it all under control, and I was very, very pleased by it. The other thing I was going to do, and I'm going to use it on my weekly thing tomorrow, but maybe next council meeting, I want to bring you in some photographs that we're taking every day out of the third floor window here, looking at this monument that you can't see from the street that's being built, the flag monument. And they're really coming together with that in there very nicely. They have to put it in the round, as you may remember, and they poured some of the foundations for that, and it's coming along. So I'm very pleased to see that taking place, and that's a very good thing to see happening. And I just, again, we've already heard tonight from others about, tomorrow's election day. And so if you haven't voted yet, please go vote. And we have half the city council up for re-election or election. And we have no opposition. And I don't know what to read into that, but nobody is taken any particular turns. So we're going to have only one new face coming out of it. And we're losing Alderman Rosado, and I'm very sorry to see him go. But he's still got a month with us here. So, we'll have a new member there, and we'll move forward. I am optimistic that some of the things that we're talking about and some of the things we'll be talking about in executive session. Are we meeting next Tuesday night? No, we're not meeting to, what?
The 11th.
11th, yeah, the 11th. That's next Tuesday night, yeah. We may have some interesting things to share on that meeting, and it's all good stuff. It's nothing that I'm ashamed to talk about, but some of it we're still in negotiation with, so we don't want to talk publicly about it. But there's some neat things happening here. And another piece of, I'll call it community news that I've heard is that the Winding Creek subdivision, which is off of McKee Street and Mill Street out behind Wolcott Lane and some of that, behind Coles out there. I may have mentioned this at the last meeting, but since then they've shown up with a map of how much of it's already contracted. And the map that I was given a week ago tomorrow shows that there's 163 lots in the subdivision, and 29 of them have already been contracted on. So, I mean, that's a pretty widespread observation. I've had some of the local realtors talk to me about it, and they're saying that's a very popular place in the eyes of certain buyers, because when you come in the gate there at either a Mill or off of McKee, there's a sign there that says, "We offer ranch and two-story homes." And the ranch seems to be the one that is gaining a lot of interest. And I may have told you this before. I had a gentleman show up from Central Ohio a couple of weeks ago, and he was asking about going out there, and I think he did, buy a lot and build a house, because his grandchildren and his son and daughter-in-law are living in Batavia, and he doesn't want to live in Springfield, Ohio anymore. He wants to be where his family is. So he's coming to Batavia. So you got a lot of that going on here. And the number of people that are getting up in their 60s and 70s, they all want to get the one-story house. And so you never know what you're going to hear. But we certainly do have our fair share of activity, and it all seems to be positive. And I'm very pleased by it, and thank the council for all your support and creativity and things that we are doing, because we seem to be moving in the right direction at this moment. So that being said, who'd like to make the motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Second. Alan.
Okay. Oh, made a motion. I just also want to say that Alderman Wolf, I hope you're feeling better and we get you back in here pretty quick. We miss having you here, so you're a vital part of this conversation, and we need to have you down here with us as soon as you can feel better to come down.
I'm hoping I'll be there at the next council meeting. So that's my goal.
All right.
Thank you.
All in favor?
What?
All in favor?
Yeah, well, just doing, I would think we.
Voice vote.
Voice vote?
Voice vote.
All in favor?